Today we are going into our neighborhood Walmart because it's basically the only grocery store in town, but we are getting some things to make a meal for a family that lives in Robinson here tonight. A friend of mine and his family have been impacted by cancer, and he's been going through chemo. And not only that, they have 5 kids, one of them being a very new baby. So they set up what is called a meal train here in town, and tonight it is my turn to feed this family, and we are going to make them a Philly cheesesteak casserole. So let's go get our ingredients so we can get back in the kitchen and get this meal ready for them for dinner tonight. So I doubled this entire recipe because I'm gonna make it for Tyler and his family, and then I'm also just gonna make enough for us to have for supper tonight as well. So we're starting off with an onion. I've got 2 because I'm doubling, and then I've got my peppers, 2 each of green and red, but I was only able to get 1 yellow, so that's that. And then we'll get all of that put into the skillet with some butter and season it all up. You can season it up however you want, however you would traditionally do, like, you know, your cheesesteak. Italian seasoning, some people just use dressing in it. However you like to do it, that's exactly how you should do it. Because then, you know, it'll be delicious. Maybe I should put my hair back. I am cooking for other people. Stop recording. Lovely. Okay. So I have taken my 2 onions and I've halved them. And you're just gonna wanna cut them in like long, you know, in long strips. I'm gonna just throw everything on this sheet pan here once I get it cut up. You're gonna want your pieces about bite size. You're not gonna want them really, really big. So that way, you know, you can actually just, well, they're bite size. So I've just cut them in half. I'm cutting both ends off, and then I'm just cutting them into bite-sized pieces to my knees in place. Get everything cut up all before you even start and heat everything up. Personally, that works better for me because as soon as I'm like, oh yeah, I can multitask. I can do multiple things at once. I'll burn something. I used to be so much better at that. I don't know if it's like an old age thing or if it's I've just got too much like going on type of thing. I do not have the finest of knife skills, but that doesn't matter. And as long as you can cut an onion into some bite-sized pieces, like I said, and you want to cut like, you know, long ways of the onion. You don't want to cut them cross-section. This way you get that, you know, that shape going on. And then for cheesesteak, you're gonna want to either use like a Vidalia or just a sweet yellow onion. You need all that sweetness to come through, and you know it's gonna mimic the sweetness of your bell peppers. And speaking of bell peppers, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get all of my bell peppers chopped up before I even start the onion, so that way I'm not trying to race the cooking of the onion with my subpar chopping skills. See? We're learning. I have a system. I learned it from Rachel Way a long time ago. This is why I have I don't actually use a bowl for my garbage. I just use a Walmart bag. Works great. Plus I don't throw that stuff away. I throw it out in the compost. But on your bell peppers, easiest, quickest way to get these suckers cut up, lay them on their side, cut the top off just like that, and then yeah, Rachel showed me, you just take your hand, remove my ring, real quick. Stick it right in there. Put it in there, and then you do like a twisty motion. Just grab it and pull it out, and then just like spank its little butt to get the remaining seeds out, and voila! You have a clean pepper all the way inside. It's lovely. And then I usually will just dig the stuff out of here and also use the tops as well. That's because I was told waste not, want not a whole lot when I was a kid. Not bad advice. All right, now we're gonna do the yellow and then just get all of these peppers cut up, and then we'll get our butter started. These Philly cheesesteaks won't have any yellow peppers because I was only to get one, and I opened it up and yeah, she's not looking too hot. So we're going 86 the yellow peppers. Red and green. It's Christmas in July. Okay, so to get the long strips, to mimic what you've got going on with your onion pieces, you're gonna wanna go ahead and cut off the other end of your bell pepper. This would probably show up a lot better if I used a green one. Colors. Okay, yep, cut off the other end of your bell pepper, just at the very end there. And then it is so much easier to just slice right through it. And then just, pull your knife through. And you've basically got the same bite-sized pieces, that match the size of your onion. That way when you're cooking and cooking everything together, they all cook at the same rate and they mix well. And then when you're eating it, you get equal bites of everything, and it makes it so much better. It's like a party in your mouth. I'm gonna get all of these peppers all cut up into strips just like that. Then we'll get some butter in the pan and we'll get to cooking. Just a little bit. Wonderful. All right, now that I have everything chopped up and everything's ready to go, we're just gonna get the pan started, and first things first, we're just gonna get some butter in there so we can brown our onions. Look at this, beautiful. This is my vintage butter dish and my knife. I mean, you can love it. So definitely get some butter in there and get that going. Get it melted down. And yes, use butter, not margarine. You don't want to get too much oils or anything going, because then your casserole will it'll be soupy. It'll definitely be soupy. All right, as we've got that butter melting down, we are going to get these onions going. And I've got this on a pretty medium high heat, because we want to get these onions cooked down and caramelized, so that way we're not biting into raw onion, because that would be unfortunate. But you want to get your onions started, and you want to let those get cooking. And don't add your peppers quite yet. You do want them to have a little bit of a crunch, and they will cook down in the oven as well, because this will all go into the oven for about 30 minutes. But we're just gonna get a quick cook on the onion. Also, you can add mushrooms to this, but since I was doing it for a family that's not my own, and there's quite a few children involved, I decided to just leave them out this time. So while I've got my onions cooking down, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the roast beef that I got, and I'm just gonna slice that into more manageable, again, bite-sized pieces. But I also don't want to make them too small, because that way you can use this in a sandwich as well if you want to. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm just gonna cut them crossways, like so. Just in one big motion. And you do want to get your roast beef sliced thin. Then I'm basically just cutting all of this down into the same width, just about, as what we did for all of our vegetables. I guess I could be wearing one of my cool aprons. I have some. Let's put this one on. It goes with the theme of our red and green, right? I've got about half of the meat cut up, and now I'm just giving the onions a stir. I lost one. That's okay. Oh, those are looking and smelling really good. So we're gonna finish cutting up this meat. And the key here is, again, just getting them into, you know, manageable pieces that can be eaten on a sandwich or with a fork. Because this is great with just fries. This is great, you know, just with, you know, it'd be really great with this. It's probably just corn chips or something. But I've also got like a Caesar salad and stuff to go with. So check on those onions. Yeah, just turn it down just ever so slightly. Oh, you need to come over here. So our onions are starting to get caramelized and they're smelling great. Here in a moment, we will salt them. I never salt my onions right off the bat because it will cause them to release the water too soon. You want them to ideally cook out at a little bit low, at a slower pace, so that way you don't end up with too much water content in your finished casserole. So once you get your onions looking like this, it's time to add some salt and then add your bell peppers. Get a good little even layer of salt on those. And then we're gonna add in all of the bell peppers. I did reduce the heat slightly so I don't shock the bell peppers too much. And again, this is where it's crucial that you don't add too much butter or oil, or you'll end up with Philly cheesesteak soup. We are also going to add pepper and any other spices that you would want to come in here right now. So I'm actually going to use, like, instead of just a regular Italian seasoning, I've got herbs de Providence. It's just fancy Italian seasoning. That's all it is. Brad Leone turned me onto this. Oh my God, they smell so good. So it's kind of like just your regular Italian seasoning, and I'm not exactly sure what else is in here, but it just kind of gives it, you know, like a swift kick in the ass. It just turns it up a little bit. Oh, so delicious. And then I'm going to add just the tiniest fraction of, just a little bit of truffle salt. Give it a depth, but I love cooking. Baking I do not do. Cooking, I enjoy. So I've just got these on medium heat right now. And so all of this is just kind of getting married together. Oh, the onions and everything is like looking and smelling so good. All right, once we've got everything in the pan, I'm gonna start adding in the roast beef a little bit at a time and tossing it through. So that way the beef starts to kind of, you know, soak up these juices from the vegetables and the herbs and the spices. And then we'll get it all put into a casserole pan and we'll layer it up with some cheese on top, and it's gonna be fantastic. I might have to get a little creative since I did a double recipe, but normally you could just throw this all in this one pan, put some cheese on top of it, and then shove it in the oven. If you're using an oven-proof skillet, even better, because then you just, you know, whoop, you know, in and out. But I want this meat, you know, kind of, it needs to simmer in this pan for a little bit. I'm gonna throw a little bit of more seasoning on top. Let's get the last bit, all this. Really goodness. And then I've got some pepperoncinis, and typically if I was making like a large, like a big crock pot of Italian beef, I typically put giardiniera in it. But again, I'm omitting it. I'm gonna give it a splash of the juice, and I'm just gonna put some pepperoncinis kind of off to the side. Not everybody likes them. I get it. I've got my giardiniera. Again, we don't want soup. Do just a splash of the juice. All right, so typically, yes, if I was just making this for home, I would, since I've got an oven-proof skillet, I would layer my cheese on top and I'd throw it in there and get it all going. But since I'm making it for someone else, we're gonna build this up in like a casserole dish for them. So I'm just gonna start transferring quite a bit of this over into this pan. Half of this is gonna go in here for them. Half of it's gonna stay in this pan. And another tip, yeah, when you're doing this, I mean, there is going to be, here, I'll show you. There's your liquid. I don't know if you can see, you've got your liquid bubbling in there. So as you're taking this out of this pan, you know, you can let some of that liquid drain off. Now that we have it put into our casserole pan, now it's time to layer it with cheese. And just don't be stingy. Provolone and mozzarella. So I'm gonna take the provolone and I am going to be overlapping these guys, you know, ever so slightly. No gaps. We're almost basically kind of making like a cheese crust. Lovely. Just layer this stuff up. And completely cover the top. Then on top of the provolone, we put mozzarella. And also because that provolone gets all melty and then the mozzarella helps to fill in the crevices, and it just, under the broiler, the mozzarella browns up and bubbles up and looks amazing. That's all good. Time to pop it in the oven. And we're gonna bake that at 350 for about 20 to 30 minutes, kind of depending on your oven and your location. Then also, the last 2 to 3 minutes, we'll switch it over to the broiler and really get that cheese bubbled up, and then it'll be ready to eat. It is just a little after 5:30 and I am on my way to drop off the casserole to Tyler and his family. And, you know, just this whole process of making it felt good. It made my heart feel good. And I love that somebody set this up for this family. There's so many ways that you can help people. A lot of people think that donating money is always is the answer, and that's the first that's the first thing that a lot of people think of, and sometimes that's not always the answer. I mean, this meal, you know, I went to Walmart. I think it cost me around $30, and that's enough food for both my family and theirs tonight. And that $30 that I spent is going to make more of an impact coming as a meal, you know, that's prepared with love and care than, you know, handing over $30, whatever do. The whole time that I was making this casserole, I just kept thinking about how good it must feel to have not just me. There's so many people that have signed up for this. So how good it must feel to know that a community can come together and help out, you know, in ways that some people don't think about. You know, with everything that's going on, I can't even imagine. Sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time to cook a meal. And to have 5 kids and to be going through, you know, a cancer journey with your husband and everything, it's gotta be a lot. And she's a strong woman, but we all need help sometimes, and it feels good to just be able to chip in and lend a helping hand. While I'm here, I must say, I've got to make a comment on how Walmart's trying really hard to be vintage. I mean, they're really trying. So all Walmart did like this whole Walmart makeover, and I think it's probably been about a year ago, but I still cannot find anything in this place. I get so turned around every time. I mean, I'm supposed to be grocery shopping and I'm in the shoes, for frick's sakes.